I'm gonna have to find out from you how you're appearing on Discord and StreamYard.
Oh, now it's moving.
Ruben.
I just turned on the camera for both.
But I feel like I get audio out of both.
Oh, you can deafen. I use the deafen and the mute on Discord.
Okay, let me try that.
Are we live? I think we're live. Okay. Hello and welcome to the September community call. Propose. If this is your first time joining a community call, Tech for Palestine is a project incubator and advocacy organization. I'm sorry, I'm hearing myself back in my ears. Oh. I'm going to try disconnecting from Discord. Okay, I disconnected from Discord, so hopefully that will help. Okay, great. So welcome to Tech for Palestine community call. Tech for Palestine is a pro-Palestine advocacy organization that operates an incubator for advocacy projects. And we also have offshoots like Entrepreneurs for Palestine and Investors for Palestine. And once a month, we get together and we just give an overview of like what's happening in Tech for Palestine this past month. So just a forewarning that this call is being recorded and broadcast live on multiple social media platforms. So if you have a problem with that, you might not want to be connected to it. There are chat places open in various places on X and on LinkedIn and on Discord. Just post your questions and we will try to get to them as soon as we possibly can. And with that, I will transition to Afzal for community and marketing updates. Welcome, Afzal.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Because I just double muted myself. So great, thanks. Yes, so hey, Tech for Palestine community, great to have you here again. We added this new section to our monthly community call because, as you know, we share a lot of community updates and marketing content almost every day, and we understand that it's hard for everyone to follow everything. So we selected the most important topics, the topics that you shouldn't miss. And if you like it, we are going to do it more often. So for this month, I would like to kick off with the collaboration that we have with Palestine Dive. Maybe you know them from YouTube. So we are doing a podcast series with them, which we call Occupied Tech. And a couple of weeks ago, we published the first episode. So you will see Paul Bigar in each session with a guest who he interviews. And this first session was with Hussam. You might know him already because he has been on social media and in the news. I think more or less 1 year ago when he spoke up against Microsoft's complicity in this genocide. And he's also part of No Azure for Apartheid, the collective that speaks up about Microsoft complicity. And I really like this first session, this first podcast that Paul did with him, especially because there is no sugarcoating in it, no beating around the bush. One of the first questions that Paul asked Hussam is Microsoft evil? So when you tune in, and it sets the tone starting from the first minute. And yeah, I'm sure if you don't know all the details about Microsoft complicity, you should definitely listen to this session. And yeah, more Occupied Tech podcast sessions will come up very soon. I think every other week we will publish something. Um, can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah, thank you very much. So, Entrepreneurs for Palestine, we did a launch of E4P, or a launch campaign, also last month. Some of you will probably ask why a launch, because I already know Entrepreneurs for Palestine, and for some of you, it's probably something new. But E4P, Entrepreneurs for Palestine, started once as a project in the incubator of Tech for Palestine. But the way how Eva, the founder, calls it is that they graduated now to an in-house project of Tech for Palestine. So basically, we are merged, and that's something that we were shouting from the rooftops last month, because the community of E4P, it grows very fast. It's about CEOs and founders, companies, basically coming together, bundling their powers to speak up about Palestine, trying to create this parallel ecosystem of ethical brands. Um, and they also launched, or not really launched, but they initiated a pledge last month, which is already signed by 50 entrepreneurs. Basically, a pledge in which they state that they support the Palestinian cause. And I really want to encourage everyone to share this with your networks as well, because in these cases, numbers count. If we one day could say that, hey, look, we have 500 or even 1,000 entrepreneurs who signed this pledge, that's very powerful. So please share the news with your network. You can still sign the pledge. And if you are a founder, if you are a CEO, or if you have someone in your network who runs a company and you know that they care about Palestine, let them connect with the Entrepreneurs for Palestine team, please. Can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah, another content item that you shouldn't miss if you haven't seen it already. Bycat VPN, and of course, I really like this one because it's I joined T4P because I'm dreaming of a ethical tech ecosystem, and that means that we need alternatives for a lot of tech services, tech products that we use today in our daily lives. And this is a great example. It's a great step that the founder of Boycott, the app that shows you which consumer brands you should boycott, that he created. It's called Bycat instead of Boycott VPN because this is another project of the Boycott founder. With Bycat, he wants to promote brands that we should support. while boycott is focusing. Sorry for the boycott. It's for me it's hard to pronounce, but I think you get the difference. So while boycott tells us what brands we shouldn't buy, boycott should tell us which brands we should support. And this product, Bycat VPN, is one of the first supported products of this ethical ecosystem, tech ecosystem. The reason why it exists, it is because most of the VPNs today, they are owned by companies who are tied to Unit 8200, so Israeli spies. And those few VPN service providers were not tied to Israel, or at least to Israeli spies. They either use money from Israeli investors, or they have servers for the VPNs in occupied territory. So this is the first VPN provider of which we could say that it is like for 100% certainty that it is not tied to Israeli spies. So if you use VPN from all the other providers, it's time to get rid of those subscriptions and move to this one. And you can share your feedback in with the founder or ask your questions in the Boycat channel. That's it about Boycat VPN. And now I'm going to hand over back to Tom.
Great, thank you, Afzal. And I think coming up next, we have Paul who's going to talk about the latest post on the blog.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. So this is kind of a fascinating, not my blog. It's interesting, but there's this fascinating thing that's happening where different parts of the movement are sort of, coming across the same culprits in multiple different ways. So Sequoia Capital is a big Zionist-ish investor that has a crazy Zionist called Sean Maguire as one of their partners, and they invest in tons and tons of stuff, tons of most of Silicon Valley got built with Sequoia money. And so this guy Sean Maguire is going around making these huge sort of Islamophobic statements, which we've talked about in the past, and we've talked about in particular how there's been statements by like over 1,000 entrepreneurs calling out Sequoia for having Sean Maguire when he's saying these things. And part of what Sean Maguire has done is brought Sequoia over to Israel to start investing in Israel again, which it didn't do before 2024. And other people have noticed. So Mubi is a sort of streaming platform for indies based in the UK. And it's been running since 2007, and it's largely loved by its customers. And its customers are in full out revolt over the fact that just now they took, or like a couple of months ago, they took $100 million from Sequoia Capital. And it was really an own goal by Mubi. They weren't necessarily a Zionist company, but I just read that 200 of their employees signed a statement saying basically, what the hell were you doing? And the Mubi CEO, that's his face there on the right, his name's F.A. Caccarel. He put out a statement about the investment. And the investment said basically, Sequoia is a minority investor. They don't really have any say in how we do the company or how we run things or anything along those lines. And I think anyone who's done a startup, who's been a founder, who's been involved in investment knows that's just complete bullshit. So we went through Caccarel's statement, Mubi's statement about the investment, and we just went through every statement and said, this one's misleading, this one's a lie, and most of the statements were misleading or a lie. They were trying to imply that it didn't have that Sequoia doesn't have any real power over like programming or about it. And the CEO reports to the board. The board has quite a lot of legal rights as well as significant soft power in the company. And so this was something where they were straight up lying, and where we see this sort of cross community pressure happening now, where companies, customers and employees of companies who are taking Sequoia's money are themselves creating problems for the companies that take Sequoia's money. I don't know. I thought it was a really interesting sort of like connection between the different pro-Palestine community, different parts of the movement, and I think we're going to start to see this a lot more. Back to you.
All right, I think
Great,
I'm
thank you, Paul.
up next.
All right, so coming up next, we have Mohammed is going to guide us through an overview of the new projects that have joined the incubator this month.
Cool. I hope you can hear me, everyone.
Oh, we cannot hear you, Mohammed. Oh, I can't hear you. But...
Can everyone else hear me? Thank you, Paul. That was a very needed nod. So very happy to be with you in this month's edition of our community call. So let's start off by reminding everyone about what the incubator is all about. So I'm Mohammed, I'm part of the incubator team with T4P, and what we do is we help projects, we help founders who have ideas and want to turn them into reality to join our community of 9,000 people on Discord and counting. I'm sure we've surpassed this number, and get access to mentors, ad hoc SMEs and experts to guide them in multitudes of directions. The mentor list that we have, thanks to the E4P community that Afzal has mentioned earlier, is where we have more than 20 mentors listed right now, and they have proven experience, founders, people who have launched companies, have launched global programs, and they are pro-Palestine and here to share their experience with our projects. You get access to the monthly coaching sessions. There's live weekly office hours. If we can move to the next slide. You also have, as a project, as a founder, hands-on help to help you with your strategy. There are strategy calls that help you to prep, that help you to course correct if needed, that helps you to learn from the experience of other founders to accelerate your way to launch and to success. You also have, obviously, access to our volunteers pool, which as I will be talking about later. And from our marketing function, you can be branded as a T4P project, and you can use some of our muscle. So we help with launches, we help you to amplify your social content reach by leveraging our channels and sessions like this one, where we do spotlights for some of our most interesting projects. Finally, we also have small grants to get things going. We're talking about helping with the cost of licenses, cloud subscriptions, and so on, to get your tech off the ground, as an example. Now, moving to the interesting part, we have, I think, 7 projects to talk about this month. And the first one, before Paul even thinks about asking me the question, is my favorite one for today's edition. So, Awain Rayah, very Arabic word, it just means in Palestinian slang, where are you heading to? A very friendly name. And when I read the project description, when I looked at their website, this brought up or brought back some memories. The first time I visited the West Bank, Palestine, I was around 12 years old. And I remember very vividly the experience of approaching a checkpoint. A checkpoint in Hebrew, the word used by Palestinians as well, is mahsum or mahsum. So when you're approaching a mahsum, your blood pressure starts rising because you don't know what to expect, right? You could just whiz through while also being very stressed out, or you can be stranded there for hours. So the uncertainty is something that impacts the daily lives of Palestinians. That is, if you even get through at all. If the soldier on the checkpoint is just having a bad day, he can decide to close the checkpoint and you have to manage. So Imagine this experience while you're on your way to work, while you're on your way to school, or while you're heading to the hospital. You have no control over this. This is a true, cruel manifestation of the occupation in the everyday life of Palestinians. Enter Awain Rayah, our project for today. And this is a website, as I said, where are you heading? So it's a website that is developed by Palestinians for Palestinians, gives real-time updates on checkpoints and main city entrances and roads. The updates are crowdsourced using AI. You can think of it as a Waze or Google Maps for Palestine, but obviously less the Zionist technology. So you can access the website already today. It'll be in the chat. And this is a site that has already launched, has 100,000 daily users, and it processes more than 2,000 reports a day. I would call that a very successful MVP. Now the team is looking at what to do next. Next steps include launching a mobile app, real-time navigation, a community contribution system with trust scores for the contributors, and eventually morph into a ride-hailing / ride-sharing platform. I personally love this project. Just look at this map on the screen of all these checkpoints. You can't escape Israeli checkpoints if you need to move around in the West Bank. So I think about this project, it's reclaiming a bit of control on the everyday of Palestinians, and it's a form of resistance. Do check out their website. I've been told I talk a lot, I know this, and I'm going to make this a bit interactive for you today. And I want to hear from my colleagues in the incubator, Paul and Tom, maybe today. So, Paul, this project just ticks all my boxes. It's a pretty successful MVP. They have proved that they are useful. They have good traffic. But the next phases are a lot more challenging. What's your first impression of the team? Do you think they're up for the challenge?
Oh yeah, this was I would say the first sort of application and interview where we were just like, oh yeah, immediately this is just so obviously, it just the team is excellent. They know what they're doing. I mean, look what they've built so far. You know, this is a significant outcome already. The direction that they want to go with it in terms of, you know, they're talking about like making a ride sharing app out of this, which wouldn't be the sort of Uber style of ride sharing. I think it would actually be genuine ride sharing and sort of the original community style. You know, all of this seems very, you know, so many people use this app, so many people share this information. You know, that's something that's done by an excellent team.
Perfect. Thanks for that, Paul. All right, so moving on. Our next project on the list is Baqi. That's an Arabic word that means spare change, as in the coins you get back when you pay for something. This is part of our, let's call it fintech category of projects. Baqi is a mobile app that rounds up your daily spending and donates the spare change to a cause that you care about, such as emergency aid for Palestine. It's quite simple. You register your credit card, choose a campaign that you like, then the app silently gives your change to the chosen campaign, whilst allowing you full tracking. Campaigns already on the app today include CARE, Palestinian Student Scholarship Fund, New York for Syrian refugees, just to give you all a sense of scale of the impact this app can deliver. The biggest campaign today is Emergency Aid for Palestine, and it has only 40 donors subscribed on the app who generate, through Baqi, $600 every month. This is just change from 40 people monthly to one cause. The founders are twins, Palestinian and software engineers. And they're both based in the US. You can download the app from baqi.io. It's available in some countries on iOS and Android. Don't be disappointed if you download it and it doesn't work, or you can't download it. Hopefully this will be spread globally soon. Now, Paul, I find the most impressive projects to be the ones with the simplest ideas, like this one. Baqi already has a functional app. How can G4P help them scale?
So a lot of what we've been doing with Baqi is helping them on the strategic side. We had a couple of calls with them. To me, one of the biggest things that they can do is refining who they think of as their customers. Their customers, I don't think, are the end users who give their change. Their customers are the organizations who receive the change, and they should be leveraging those organizations in order to reach to get a big audience. So it's not, here's free money for the organizations. It's organizations, we can help you mobilize your donor base with this change-based application. And we are people who are helping you get as much donations as you can from the people who want to give you money. And I think that's sort of like transformation in terms of approach is going to lead to a lot more usage and a lot more donations for the organizations. And I think that there will be a lot of potential as well to do, partnerships, organizations working together, sort of like cross-selling kind of stuff. I think there's a lot more potential to focus on what the organizations need and to help them sort of enable that.
Indeed. And I think this is where we truly demonstrate the power of the network of Palestine and the power the community of G4P brings about to help these projects grow. Right, moving on. Next project on our list is, if we could move to the next slide, please, Sahel Pay. I'm gonna skip PalPay, come back to it, because Sahel Pay is a great segue to get a better understanding of PalPay. Now, if you're in Gaza, one of the very few things you can still do to make a living is work as a freelancer for clients abroad. At G4P, we come across extremely skilled professionals from Gaza in all fields: programmers, social media experts, translators, the list just goes on. And we see them in all aspects, in all projects, delivering success after success, regardless of the hardships they go through. Now, a pretty big problem faced by those professionals is finding a means of getting paid. There are restrictions on transfers. Hardly any platform that operates in Gaza, a payment platform, or it has extremely high fees enforced by these platforms or the middlemen, simply due to monopoly, or like even issues like the scarcity of physical currency in Gaza. So the community of freelancers in Gaza brings us someone who steps up and wants to solve the problem by creating Sahel Pay. Sahel, which means easy, making this easy pay, is a platform that plans to help those freelancers get paid reliably with low fees and no barriers. The project is still in its very early days, but the founder plans to rapidly move to an MVP, a minimum viable product. So, Paul, can you tell us more about how technically viable this concept is? Some of the potential roadblocks when you go into payments, they include things like the regulation, licensing, and so on. So why would you think that this is a viable project? So
both SalPay and PalPay are kind of approaching this this project from sort of different angles. The main thing, the very first thing that we look at with these projects is, right, what are they trying to achieve? And it's not necessarily that they know how to achieve that just yet. SalPay is focused on how do employers pay contractors. PalPay is focused on how can people get money into Gaza and Palestine from Europe and the Middle East and the West. And the main thing that they have to do is figure out how to do this. The kind of work that T4P does with these folks is, help them with sort of strategy on this, right? Talking to your customers, figuring out what they need. In the case of SalPay, it's figuring out obviously what the contractors need, but figuring out as well what their employers need, what their remote folks are. What's working? Is Upwork working? Are there other platforms that are working? What are the barriers to this stuff actually working? So, does crypto work? Does money arrive? What about money changing? What about cash? And we don't know where exactly it's going to end up. But in both cases, we have people who are very, very motivated to find the problem, and we have experts within the T4P network and beyond who know a lot about payments and who know a lot about employing or giving money to people within Palestine. So, at the moment, both projects, a little bit of a research phase. I don't think they're going to be moving to MVP as fast as some of the projects because finance is complicated, payments are complicated, the banking system is complicated. The US and Israel both deliberately make them much more complicated. So there's a lot of work to be figured out in what's working now, how can we enable more of that, and where can we fit into the ecosystem in order to be able to push it forward, make it simpler.
Indeed. But we are surely, having a lot of hopes on our founders to take on these challenging undertaking. So I have no doubt that we will see those two projects succeeding soon. Moving on to PalPay, as I said, the good segue is they're both fintech payment related platforms, and they solve very similar problems, essentially the same problem. However, PalPay, we have to talk a bit about PayPal to come to it, because that's where the name comes from. PayPal, as you know, deliberately discriminates against Palestinians today. While the payment platform operates in 200 countries, including like Yemen, Somalia, and other unstable markets, it deliberately denies Palestinians with bank accounts its services, while availing it to illegal Israeli settlers. PayPal has been also turning a deaf ear to any campaigns to end this discrimination for quite some time now. There were multiple attempts to get them to remove this barrier and accept Palestinians as subscribers. Now, a young Palestinian developer has had enough of this discrimination and has decided to create a sustainable, clean alternative for PayPal. Whilst this is still in concept as well, the founder aspires to build a payment platform that is also cheaper, that doesn't cost the professionals that we talked about a bit earlier an arm and a leg, for instance. And it's an alternative to wire transfers, which is what's dominant today. She plans to start in Palestine with an MVP and then expand to regional markets. So I guess we've talked about this one, Paul. I'm going to move to the next one, طاقات غزة. طاقات غزة is an initiative that is based in Gaza, and it's for Gazans. The initiative empowers youth and freelancers through training, mentorship, and providing job opportunities. It connects local talents with global markets, building resilience, sustainable careers amid crisis. Most importantly, though, it restores a bit of hope for the people of Gaza. طاقات's diverse team includes professionals in program development, training, technology, communication, each of them bringing deep local insights and global expertise. To date, طاقات has empowered over 500 youths, and through intensive training, mentorship, and job placement programs, and they have helped more than 70 find remote jobs across the globe. Now, I invite you to visit the Taqat website, taqat-gaza.com. You'll see it also in the chat, and have a look at all the impressive profiles listed under the talents page. This includes programmers, designers, writers, accountants, testers, and the list goes on. So if you have a company, a project, an ad hoc need to hire Palestinians, reach out to Taqat. You can even post your job vacancy there and get connected to these professionals who are ready to work. Now, when I think about this project, Paul, it's difficult to imagine someone in Gaza today sitting through classes or working behind a screen amidst all the bombing and hardship. What's your impression of the Taqat team from the interview and the interactions so far?
So Taqat is actually a team where, I struggle to think how we're going to help them because they're doing so much already on their own. They were describing to me how they build these co-working spaces, and they're putting solar on buildings, and they're refurbishing bombed out buildings to make office spaces. The number of people that they're supporting, I think, is it 7 or 12? I can't remember the number of different co-working spaces they have already. They're a phenomenal team that's working at an incredible, really just an incredible pace. And yeah, what they've achieved is fantastic.
Yeah, I think if there's one quality we can all learn from people in Gaza is this endurance and persistence and keeping at it regardless of what conditions they go through. All right, 2 more projects. Reddit suppresses Gaza. Simple name, but powerful purpose. As it suggests, the founders, who are a digital marketer and a seasoned programmer, are pretty confident that Reddit is deliberately suppressing content related to Gaza genocide, and they're planning to prove it. And they want to make the whole world know about this bias, but they want to do this with facts. Their primary focus is the American public, who are the biggest target of Israeli propaganda today. So influencing their opinions, opening their eyes is something quite influential, I would say, to the American support to Israel. Now, we look forward to launching this project as part of our media bias group, which already contains successful projects such as News Court, which exposes bias in news stories and mainstream media outlets. What I really like about this category of, combating Hasbara, which is the Israeli propaganda, is that it can be such a diverse group. You can see that Reddit Suppresses Gaza is a research project, a needed research project to expose these biases. Not every project that comes to Tech for Palestine needs to be a website or an app. So if you have an idea that will deliver a document, a research result that will expose bias in any platform, we welcome you to apply to the T4P incubator. Now, this being a research project, Paul, what kind of data is the team planning to use for their research, and why do you think Reddit is a platform worth targeting?
So we've heard many different reports about targeting of Palestinian content on Reddit. There's a bunch of different avenues to go down. It's hard to know at this point which is going to be the most successful one. So one of them is that there's a lot of Zionist moderators. So Reddit has a sub-community model. There's thousands of subreddits, tens of thousands of subreddits. And those subreddits each have their own individual moderators. And it appears that in quite a number of cases in subreddits like World News, that Zionist moderators have made their way to the top of the list, which is one of the ways of sort of exerting control. And moderators are pretty much all powerful. They can just delete content entirely. But we also know that the Reddit works with the ADL. So the ADL is a Zionist organization that most recently took down Palestinian content on TikTok and sort of brought them to their knees a little bit. They're an explicitly Zionist group. They're explicitly racist, anti-Palestinian group. And Steve Huffman, who is the CEO of Reddit, sits on their technical advisory board. So, we know that the ADL works with a lot of tech companies. We don't actually have evidence that they work with Reddit, but it feels exceedingly likely. And so the part of the angle that they might be just taking is taking a look at how do moderators, how are moderators who are sort of on our team, how do they perceive Zionist influence being sort of injected into their own communities? Very, very researchy, very early. It's going to be very interesting.
Hopefully we'll have the evidence as soon as this project progresses. Just conscious of time, final project for today is BDS Belfast. Now, there's always been this strong connection between Ireland and Palestine, and BDS Belfast is just the evidence of that. It's a direct action group aiming to ensure the removal of all Israeli products from the island of Ireland, and to inspire others to do likewise in their own countries, which is not just a slogan the team puts up, they've put this into action. The group takes action every day of the week against local supermarkets in Ireland, stocking Israeli products. They remove them from shelves, they plaster them with stickers. Their main current focus is home bargains. And they are highly coordinated. They're already working with groups across 6 countries who are part of the campaign. The group has a range of skills in the team, from very experienced activists with decades of campaigning experience to graphic designers for the leaflets and video editors for social media. Check out their, I think they were on Instagram. Sorry, I had to read that. So they're on Instagram, very interesting channel. They keep posting about the activities that they do and that are upcoming. So if you're in Ireland, you can directly participate and contribute to the group. Now, BDS is our most effective way of peaceful resistance, in my view. Please support this group, follow them on Instagram. And as I said, if you're in Ireland, you also have the opportunity to participate. This is not a technology project, Paul. What do they expect from T4P? How can we help them?
So yeah, people ask us about this. It's like, people think that tech is about code. Tech is about scale, and code enables automation and is one of the reasons that it is so involved in scale. What is amazing about these guys? They go into the supermarkets. They have no fear. They just take all this shit off the shelves. They throw them in trolleys. They bring them to the front. They cover them in flyers. And then it's gotten to the point that the staff don't even bother restocking the shelves. And this is something that they have repeated across most of Belfast. And they've got dozens of what they call copycats. But they have materials, they have guides, they have flyers, they have workshops. And so that's what we're working with them on. Like, how do we scale this up so that it's not just Ireland? It's every town, every county, every state, every Zionist organization, everyone on the boycott list. How do we scale this up from something that is like their team participates in to the entire movement taking these tactics to really fully rid the entire world of Israeli products. So this is very much about take something that is working, that is effective, that they are doing probably better than anyone else in the world, as far as I can tell, and teach all the other BDS groups, all the other Palestinian solidarity groups, making their tactics, their strategies, their materials, their organization, scaling that up in a way that it can have massive, massive global impact.
Perfect. We look forward to seeing a lot more BDS organized movements that we can help through Tech for Palestine. This concludes 7 projects, I think, we've covered. If you are inspired by the projects you've heard about today, please apply with your ideas. Please apply with your projects to turn your concept that helps Palestine into a reality. You can apply through our website or let us know about an interesting idea that you think we can turn into a project with the help of our community of volunteers. Speaking of volunteers, I think Azza has been very patiently waiting for us, but we kept the best till the last. Over to you, Azza.
I actually think, is Baldwin presenting now? Are we having Right
Yeah,
Palestine?
my mistake. Yes, I skipped over Baldwin. Then back to Tom to keep us organized.
Yeah, Baldwin and JB are going to tell us about their project, Right for Palestine.
I know Paul's cat's trying to get in
Hi,
this.
folks.
Hey, Baldwin, take it away.
Hi, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you guys hear me? Okay, good.
We can hear you all right.
Sorry, I'm having a bit of an internet outrage here. So I'm gonna introduce myself, and JB can introduce herself when she gets to her slides. I'm Baldwin. I'm an engineer. I'm also a writer. I've been writing for Palestine since 2020, and I've decided to start this project in 2024, late 2024, as an organized project rather than individual effort with me and my colleagues. Right for Palestine, which is also known as the Core Education Team and many other platforms, is an organization of writers who seek to spread awareness regarding the Palestinian cause by writing. We believe in the idea of writing as a method of spreading awareness to other people and teaching other people about Palestine, about Palestinian history, Palestinian culture, and the Palestinian cause at the minute. The project, from our perspective, is important because we see the online platforms like Quora, like Reddit, and like many other platforms as critical in terms of the number of users for the awareness of the cause globally. Platforms like Quora, for example, have about 400 million monthly active users. The vast majority of them are in North America and the United Kingdom and Europe. Average users spend about 4 minutes on Quora and probably spend much more on other platforms like Reddit. So this is a project that focuses on educating people who are interested in learning about Palestine through these platforms. Can we go to the next slide, please?
Hi, everyone. I'm JB. Can you all hear me? Okay, can we quickly just jump back, please? So I'm a graphic designer, and I'm also a writer and researcher for Right for Palestine. And the goal of this project is to raise awareness for the Palestinian cause and combat revisionist history. And we do it through organized research and writing, and we publish on Quora, we publish on Reddit, and we publish on X as well. Next slide, please. So in the past few years, our impact has been pretty great. Our writing has gotten over 40 million views on Quora, and some of our writers get up to 12 million views. Our writing on X has reached over 65 million impressions, with views on Reddit in the hundreds of thousands. So as you can see here, 6.9 million content views, 40.9K this month alone on some of our Reddit posts. So I think that's a pretty great reach. Right now, we've got a couple exciting opportunities for any volunteers who are interested. We've got several projects being undertaken right now, including documentation of the history of Palestine and the culture, as well as ongoing events. And there are several Open opportunities for writers, researchers, and anyone who's active and has basic social media navigation skills. We offer training, documentation, and guides, and we're always ready to help our volunteers. Next slide, please. So today, I would like to highlight some wonderful volunteers, and we'll start with Mustafa. Mustafa is one of the original founders of the team and one of the most important writers. With an outstanding impact of 8.8 million views on Quora, he's been one of the best volunteers to showcase not only dedication, but also talent in his immersive and creative writing styles. Next up is Waqar. Waqar is one of our most dedicated and loyal volunteers, whose loyalty to the Palestinian cause is unmatched. He has made great impact with his knowledge and experience, which has brought valuable insights and contributions to both the team and the writings produced. And finally, me, JB Fletch. This is my pen name. Baldwin was supposed to present this, but I'll just say I'm really passionate about the work, and I believe in the cause. And I think once people get the opportunity to find where they shine, I love seeing them grow. And that's what I try and bring to the team. So next slide, please.
Hi, folks. Sorry about that. Can you guys hear me again?
Yes.
Yeah, I do apologize regarding that inconvenience. It was totally unexpected. I will speak for JB because this wasn't intentional at all. But yeah, I don't know where to start when it comes to JB. She has been working with us for almost a year now, and she has been one of our top writers and researchers in the team, and has taken up many various different roles, ranging from just writing to leadership and design. She is an example for everybody, and I think we need more volunteers like JB who can actually make great differences within the team itself, but also on a much bigger scale within other platforms and other teams outside as well. That's pretty much it for the volunteer shoutouts.
Cool. I think I'm
Yeah.
up
So
now.
yep.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Baldwin and JB, and I'm glad you got your internet restored so you can give your shout out to JB. Amazing work you guys have been doing. It's been so cool to see all the growth and impact you have. So yeah, thank you guys. And thank you all for joining us on our community calls. It's great to have you. You've heard about a bunch of new projects that we just accepted into the incubator. We have some really cool projects that are existing, and behind all of these projects, as Paul and Mohammed and Tom and you got to meet with Baldwin, we have some amazing leaders and kind of visionaries and folks that really are doing something tangible to make a difference and help where they can. And volunteering your time, if you have time, is a great way to get involved. If you have ideas, you can certainly apply for the incubator. But if you'd like to work with some of these amazing people on some of these wonderful projects, and our projects span all different areas, I really encourage you to go online, fill out the volunteer form, check out our projects, check out our open positions. I'll highlight a couple for us today. But it's truly a phenomenal way to do something tangible and meaningful with our experience, our background, and all the things that we bring to the table, and the momentum that we are driving, helping projects from all over the world kind of see their visions all the way through. So with that, let me get into some of the specific roles that I'll highlight. There are many more on our website, so I also encourage you to go to the website. There we go. So T4P is looking for a podcast publicist. So Paul's been doing more podcasts lately. We're looking for someone who loves podcasts, has a real knack at pitching compelling stories, and is excited about the work that Tech for Palestine is doing. We'd love to find someone that can help us keep a list of podcasts where our stories would fit, reach out to various hosts and producers and pitch having us or them on as guests, and just help coordinate everything involved. So that just requires a couple hours a week. It's a great opportunity to really help us spread the word about the great work that Tech for Palestine is doing and build really important partnerships. Similarly, the next couple of roles I want to talk about are also really key. Sorry, I woke up this morning feeling a little bit off, so I think I'm coming down with something. But we're looking for 2 country leads that will help us grow our movement and build alliances with local organizations. We're going to start in the US first, one for the Western region, one for the Eastern region. And we really, I mean, this is a key role in that this is someone that's going to be a face of Tech for Palestine, representing us out in the local community, ensuring our projects and activities reach local users, continuing to build and drive momentum and partnerships with key organizations that are also doing really important, cool work. So the community continues to grow, and this is how we keep amplifying our work. I also want to talk about social media researchers. So we're launching Influencers for Palestine, and what we're looking for is someone, a social media kind of researcher, someone to help us map out who are all the influencers for Palestine. How do we create a database of these folks and start to reach out to them? Again, continuing to expand our reach and spread the word and build the momentum. So this is another really cool role. In general, we always need social media specialists. Our projects, various projects have needs. These are, typically 5 hours or so a week. If you can commit that reliably, you'd add a lot of value. So if you have any social media skills, and there's different types of social media roles, so I definitely encourage you to apply. Check out the specifics on our website. But if you have any of these skills, we definitely have a role for you. And one project in particular I want to call out, Scene, which is an AI-powered safe space where people facing emotional struggles can reflect anonymously with certified active listeners. They're looking for someone with Arab language. So they need a social media specialist, but someone that's Arab speaking and has Arab language skills. Ideally, someone out of the mental health and wellness kind of space would be really ideal. This is a really cool project to get help in front of, get this project in front of people that we think would really benefit. So if you have Arab speaking skills, let us know. And then I want to talk about a couple of technical roles that we have. Ethical Trade Fund, a really cool web-based database designed for users to review the structure of ethical trade funds and popular investment tools. They're looking for a technical lead, so they need someone with solid experience in Python and React, and someone with experience and interest in building foundational tech to help us launch this impactful project. It's a small team, so you'd be getting in super early and helping them bring this to life. ArabMate is looking for developers, so this is a cool platform that connects Arabic learners with Arabic native tutors for one-on-one sessions online. It's a really great way to empower Arabic teachers from low-income communities with opportunities and access to international students so they can generate additional income to help them. The platform has a website. They have a mobile app on Flutter. It's hosted and it's live at arabmate.com. They have core features in place, but there are some critical bugs that are blocking the onboarding and a proper launch. So they're really looking for someone to help kind of support fixes and get the platform functional. More details about all of these are going to be online. Awin Rehin, Hannah talked about that, his favorite project, so I won't go into what that's about, but they're looking for a React Native developer to help them wrap up some things on the mobile app. They need some help with the final touches and kind of working through any bugs and stuff, and getting it up on the Google Play and App Store. It's a short-term kind of thing. They need help for a few weeks, and they're looking for help as soon as possible. And then finally, data research and lead generation analysts. So this is for Apricot. They are a nonprofit, mission-driven staffing company committed to empowering Palestinian talent and displaced talent from MENA and other conflict-impacted regions by placing them into remote jobs worldwide. They are looking for some research, data research and sales lead analysts to help them identify target markets and segments for outreach and assist us with developing some clean lists that the team can go after in an effort to get more people employed and on their feet. There's many more roles. I encourage you to go on our website, check it all out. Please, fill out the form. The more you can include about what you do and your time commitment and just being realistic on what you're able to support, the easier it is for us to match you to great opportunities. And if there is something you're interested in, please drop us a note at volunteering@techforpalestine.org and let us know what role. And then just really quickly, I wanted to just share with everyone my really cool Revolutionize Friends jacket. So this is one of our companies as well. And really cool company. I'll drop the link. I encourage you guys to go check out their website. They take they reimagine, they take previously purchased clothing items, some from boycotted brands now, and they take, textiles, old kufiyas, and reimagine them into something really cool. Great story behind that team and that project. I encourage you to check them out. Thank you. And Tom, I guess I'll hand it back over to you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Aza. Yeah, so we are at time, so I will just close by saying, don't forget, Entrepreneurs for Palestine is having an event navigating social media censorship on Monday, September 8th. And Tech for Palestine is accepting donations all the time. So you can go to techforpalestine.org/donate, or just find the donate button on the website. And we would love to have your support. And with that, thank you, everybody, for attending. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone.